In this video, I'm going to give you a personal update. Hey guys, it's time for another update from me and just wanted to let you know what's going on with me. First, super thanks to all the people who sounded off in the last update video when I was talking about getting an MBA. I was really humbled by all your guys' advice and definitely confirmed what I was thinking in my subconscious all the time, that I really don't need to move forward with an MBA. It doesn't make much sense for me in my career at this point. I'd much rather learn by doing, and I would much rather make a living doing what I'm doing now and just being a creative entrepreneur. Thank you for your comments. That was awesome, everyone. On another note, speaking of MBAs, I did read The Personal MBA by Jacob Kaufman, which I highly recommend. I think it's probably the best book that I've read this year. It's the most expensive book I've bought this year too, but it's probably the best book I've read this year. It was like that book hit the sweet spot. It was exactly what I was looking for. He takes what all MBA schools teach and he condenses them into a very easy to understand book. And each chapter is only like a few pages, but he talks about all the different terminology that you need to know. And he gives some really great examples of businesses and examples from the business world to explain his points. If you want to turbocharge your knowledge about business, then I would recommend picking it up. I'll put links to the description, but yeah, that was an awesome book to read. In writing news, I am about 25% of the way into the second book in my upcoming series, The Last Dragon Lord. So book 1 is done. It's with my editor right now. Books 2 and 3 are with my cover designer, and I'm making progress into book 2. So I'm super excited. I'm going to be able to start talking about this probably as soon as the end of next month, once book 1 is finished and ready for publication. But I'm not going to be launching it right away. I'm going to finish book 2 with my editor, get that all ready for publication before I publish book 1, so that I can take advantage of having 2 books that are ready for a launch. I'm also in the process of outlining book 2 of another new series that I'm collaborating with my friend Justin Sloan. We actually finished book 1 as well. That's in reserve, and we're writing book 2 here in the next month. So I'm actually going to be launching 2 series at the same time, which is kind of crazy for me. This week I was having a really productive week, and then the writing just kind of stopped, and I kind of felt myself drifting and wasn't really sure why, but I saw some really cool videos by Steve Harvey. If any of you guys know who he is, he's a comedian and TV show host here in the United States. I saw those videos, and maybe I'll link to those too. I got really fired up. He had some really cool stuff to say. I also saw some videos by Gary Vaynerchuk, which, Gary Vaynerchuk's one of my personal heroes. If you guys haven't heard about him, I would recommend, I'll put links to his videos or maybe a link to his channel on the YouTube card. But he talked about something too that that really resonated with me, and that's knowing what your gifts are. And I've talked about this for a long time, and I've talked about it to people that I know, and have always recommended this when people ask me for advice, and that is to focus on your gifts, right? Everybody has 2 or 3 gifts that they're really, really good at, and that's what makes them unique. And so I did some soul searching this past week or two and thinking about what my gifts are, right? My gift is that I can take something that seems complicated, I can break it down and help people see it in a different way. Another gift I have, which ties into this, is that I can take something that, seems weird, like a teddy bear or an android, and I can make an entire series about that readers enjoy. So those are my gifts, and I've really got into tune with those. And everybody has gifts. I have more gifts than even that, but you guys have gifts too. And so my ask of you is to think about what the 2 or 3 things that you're really good at, the 2 or 3 things that just totally sell your brand. Focus on those, get yourself right with those, and strengthen those. Don't worry about your weaknesses. Weaknesses are for chumps. Everybody has one, right? But if you focus on your strengths, that's how you build a long-term career. And that's what I've been doing. And this past week has really helped me get into touch with that. I talked about my upcoming series, The Last Dragon Lord, and I've been super cryptic about it, right? I haven't really talked about it, but in the next month or so, you guys are going to hear a lot more about it. But I'm going to be doing my first course, and that's going to launch right around the same time as my book, The Last Dragon Lord. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down everything that I did to make this book. So in terms of how I planned it, in terms of how I wrote it, how I marketed it, what my business decisions were, every little decision, I'm going to peel back the curtain and I'm going to let you guys see it. So I've already started writing scripts and doing things like that, and it's going to be a pretty in-depth course. So I'm hoping this will be the most comprehensive resource for marketing that has ever been done for an indie author. So it's going to be really big, and very soon I'm going to be sharing that with you guys. If you hang around me, and this kind of drives my wife crazy, but she'll totally attest to it, is that I'm always asking questions. Not a day goes by where I don't ask some sort of philosophical question to myself and try to answer it. And lately I've been thinking, well, what is my passion? I've been thinking about what it means to be a writer, what it means to be an artist, what it means to run a business that's based on art. I've been thinking about my passion, what my long-term goals are, what I want my career to look like. And there have been a couple of things that have been happening lately in the community that have been worrying me a little bit. And next week I'm going to do a video on it. But I'm on a mission to figure all this stuff out, guys. I don't have all the answers. I wish I did. But that's why I'm making these videos every week. Is one, to help you guys, but also to help me explore what I already know and just help me be more intentional about it, right? And what has worried me in the last month or two has been this writing to market idea. I don't necessarily believe that you should sit down and figure out what market you're going to target and then write a book that fills that niche. I don't believe that. Right now, there's a lot of great advice out there about writing to market, but I think what's ultimately happening is that we're creating an environment where people are afraid to take chances. I just think you have to be an artist. I think you have to write the stories that entertain you. I think you have to learn the marketing because you can't push that down the road. You have to learn the marketing, but it's more about where your stories fit in the marketplace. So I'm going to talk about that next week because I've really been wrestling with this topic. But I do believe that there are other factors that determine your success, and that's what I'm focusing on in my career. I'm focusing on long-term. I'm focusing on happiness, long-term future happiness, right? Because there's no point writing books that you don't enjoy. Why would you want to do that? I believe in following your dream and getting rewarded for it. And I accept the world as it is, and I totally understand that there are authors out there who are killing it because they're focusing on writing to market. And that's not a dig on them because they deserve their success. But I'm not just building a career, right? I'm building a legacy, and I'm creating the life that I want for myself. And so in order to do that, I have to be fearless in my art, and I cannot be afraid of writing a story that I want to write just because of what's going on in the market. Because as I'll talk about in this video, it's not about the market or writing to market. It's about marketing and it's about branding, right? So more to come on that. Suffice to say that I'm just a little worried in the direction that we're going with this because I think people are getting the wrong message from a lot of stuff that's coming out. Write what you want to write. Find that intersection between art and commerce. But the question that I've been asking, and I think it's the question that we should ask, is what does that look like, right? We talk about this all the time. What does the intersection between art and commerce actually look like? So I'm going to talk about that. So that's what's going on with me. A lot of irons in the fire. I always have a lot of things going on, and I'm working on stuff that I haven't even told you guys about. But thanks a lot. Thanks for watching this video. If you like it, feel free to subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys next month.